Elected officials don't often understand the weight that their words have in both directions. So when you look at any organization, the people at the very top have often spent their entire careers getting there. They've worked their way up, they've built the experience and the skills, and most importantly, the trust to actually be able to lead the organization. They have a deep understanding of that organization or organizations generally, and more importantly, people who run organizations. But that is not true for elected officials, especially local ones or political appointees. These folks often become the leaders overnight. And because of that, they can get to that position without maybe having had any kind of managerial experience or any kind of experience running an organization. In local politics, the elected officials we're just people in the community. We take an interest in an issue or a set of issues. We campaign, we get elected maybe by 1,000 votes or 10,000 votes or 50,000 votes. And all of a sudden, we're at the very top of an organization whose budget is hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars or $1 billion. And it's staffed by many, 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 many career professionals who are experts who've been doing it their entire lives. And electeds, when they come in, they'll do two things. One, they'll believe that that role is an extension of their candidacy. And so they'll treat it almost like the campaign. They'll say the things, the sweeping visions that they have, the reason that they got elected in the first place. But they'll do it without really understanding what it means to get it done. And because of that, it won't be very effective. They'll do it without building the trust in the people who are charged with implementing those visions, not just while they're in office, but well after they're gone. And then it becomes sort of a toothless statement of policy rather than an actual change, systemic organizational change that impacts people positively. On the other end of the spectrum, people at the very top of an organization who are newly elected will not really understand the power imbalance between the people at the top and the people who staff the organization, because they may not have had any kind of managerial experience. But for those of you out there who lead organizations, you know that you have to be very careful about the things you say for a couple of reasons. One, compliance, right? When you say something that may be totally harmless, peer-to-peer, the impact is disproportionate when it comes from the boss's boss to you. And that can cause all kinds of problems. I've seen it happen. The other is elected officials don't really understand that tangents or side thoughts they may have can wind up consuming the entire day or week of a staffer or a professional in the organization. If someone just walks by and says, "Oh, it'd be interesting to know this," now a person has thought, well, shoot, I got to figure that out. I got to get that information to this person. And they have now spent their entire day or 2 days doing that rather than their main job. And maybe the elected didn't even intend for this to become a whole project. They were just saying something.